Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Yes, You Are Brave. I'm Pawnee, your host. Super excited this week. We are with Tracy Kasper. She's going to be talking to us about some really awesome things. So, Tracy, would you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit to us?
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on here and to chat with you today. So I am Tracy Kasper. I have a walking group that I do once a month, the first Saturday of every month. And taking a few steps back, I have been on a health journey for about 6 or 7, actually, probably like 8 or 9 years now. And it did not start, the whole thing has been like a little messy, but I ended up healing a few things naturally, and just taking baby steps. And we're never done healing, so I'm still in the process, but that's just a little intro.
I love
I
that. And I
love
love
that.
that you
I
said
love
that the health journey has been messy. Because I feel like if there's one word to describe most of our journeys, especially with health, it's messy. So what led you to be like, I have to start on this journey now? Like, what was kind of the catalyst to like push you to like just start?
So what started my health journey was a diagnosis. I was diagnosed with the first autoimmune disease. I actually just recently got diagnosed with another one. But so the first one, um, and at that time, I was not treating my body how I should have. I ate like a toddler. I would eat grilled cheese, quesadillas, ice cream every day for every meal. Now, I'm not shaming those things, but maybe not for every day for every meal when you're in your 30s. Um, because obviously I didn't feel good. And so that's why I went to the doctor in the first place. And so they told me that I needed to change my eating habits. They were going to put me on all these meds. I refused. And after a couple years of trying, all the other things, all the quick fixes, I finally gave in. And not into the meds, though. I finally gave in and I changed the way that I ate. And that drastically changed the way that I felt, the way that I carried myself. I refused to move my body in any way. I'm a very big proponent of mental health. I've worked with a therapist for most of my life, and my therapist kept telling me, you just go on one 30-minute walk for a week. And I was like, I don't think so. So during COVID, I actually started going on walks with some of my family and then some of my friends. And it became really fun and it became something I looked forward to. And then again, that became something else that really pushed my health in such an amazing direction. So those are kind of the catalysts that really launched my One Small Step Walks group, because I want to put something out there for people who maybe they don't have family or friends that want to go on walks with them, or maybe they don't know anybody in the area, or they're trying to get out there and go. It's for people at any level. It's for, people that work out all the time, or it's for people that just want to start their journey. Come make a friend and talk to someone. And when you're talking and you're walking, it doesn't feel like you're working out, but you get all the benefits of it.
Yeah, I love that. Like, make things feel like they're not, you're not
Yes.
working out. You don't have to feel like you're dying all the time. And I love that. So you said a couple of
Exactly.
things that I kind of like, I loved, and seeing the courage that took. And the first thing you said, you said you refused to just go on all the meds. And like, that is not a typical reaction. I know that like those are pushed, and it is very hard to like say no to that. So how do you feel like you were able to do that, if you don't mind
Yes.
me asking?
And so I will say I am not a doctor. Definitely consult your doctor. But for me, for my experience, um, I did not want to go on any meds, and I wanted to try to do everything I could. And then if that still didn't work, then that's where I think that medication fits in. Um, so what I did was I researched auto autoimmune and the specific autoimmune that I was diagnosed with. And what I found was that people just accept this diagnosis as their fate. And I was in my early 30s at the time. I'm now in my early 40s. And I was seeing people that were in their early 40s that could not work. They could not walk. They could not work out. And that really hit me. I said, that's not going to be me. So I didn't want to try the meds. I tried supplements. I tried, like they told me that I needed to get rid of gluten and dairy, and I refused at first. And so I tried like gluten-free crackers or dairy-free ice cream, but it was all, I didn't change anything else. And at that time, I wasn't moving my body. So just the tiny change, like, didn't do anything. Um, but over time, I decided to get rid of gluten, get rid of dairy, and I was actually able to avoid the medication. I always say that there's always another way. If something doesn't feel right to you, there's gotta be another way. You may not know about it, but ask somebody, ask a friend of a friend, do some research. There's so much information out there, and you'll find something that works specifically for you.
I love that. I love you said it sounds like you became the expert in your diagnosis. And I love that you said you just didn't accept. You're like, I don't want that to be me. So let's find a way. Um, I also love that the very human thing of like, I don't want to change it all. Don't want to give up
Yes.
ice cream. Don't want to give up bread. Um, and I love that, like, I don't know, it just feels like sometimes people are like, oh, and I did this and I just cut everything out. And it's like, I love that, like, no, I had a hard time with ice cream. And because
Yes. It took a while. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it took a while, but I just got to a point where I was done feeling like crap all the time. And so in the beginning, it was I'd rather have what I wanted to eat, and then it got to the point where that wasn't bringing me joy anymore. And so I eliminated those things, and I'm not going to lie to you again, it's not easy. It is not easy, but when you have certain goals, that is what you have to stick to. And something that really got me through it was to fall in love with the journey, because if you're looking for a quick fix, that's not going to, like, the faster that you get results, the faster they will go away. And so I was looking for something that was sustainable, that was balanced, that was healthy. And that's why I took those little steps. Um, and now, 7 years later, I'm going through more health things, but I've created a better foundation for myself. And now I know what to do. I'm able to move my body in ways that I wasn't before.
yeah, I love that. Fall in love with the journey. Um, how did you learn how to fall in love with the journey?
Practice. It had a lot to do with mindset, actually. So I do a lot of mindset work. Um, and there's a lot of choices for mindset work, and it's not one size fits all. So some examples are affirmations or personal growth books, personal growth podcasts, such as this one. Um, and a big part of it is social media. Just like you and I were talking about right before this, you have to pay attention to what you are consuming, because if you're not feeding your mind in a positive way, then like that, it's not going to work. You have to feed your mind as well as feeding your body.
I love that. Like, you have to pay attention. And I think sometimes we become very passive consumers of whatever is just thrown at us. And then we realize we're not very happy. So I love that, the mindset work and finding. How long did it take you to find a mindset practice that worked for you?
Um, it probably took at least a year before it was second nature to me, because it was something I wasn't used to. I didn't grow up thinking this way, or um, doing affirmations, reading these types of books. I actually used to say that I'm not a reader. I got through college without reading a book, and I was like proud of that. But I found a community of people who promoted these positive lifestyles and positive mindset, and um, it felt very weird in the beginning, but after a little bit, it it really changed me, and it changed me positively, and so I fell in love with it.
That's awesome. I love it. Wasn't it? And is it still changing your mindset work, or is it?
Yeah, because we go through different phases of life, and I've reread multiple books, because you read it at one point in your life, it could mean something completely different for you a month or a year or 10 years later, because of the seasons of life that we go through. Um, but once you have that foundation, then it's kind of like riding a bike. You'll fall off, you can get back on, and each time it gets easier. Something I forgot to mention before is meditation. Like, some people love meditation. For me, it takes me a long time to get into it, but if I get through that initial hump, I really feel the benefits of it.
You made all these little changes starting with your mindset, and then you said you changed your eating habits. How did you start into changing your eating habits? How did you make that a sustainable thing to do?
Um, so what really, it started with the diagnosis, and then I got tired of feeling bad all the time. And then I was trying all kinds of things. Well, then I got rid of gluten and dairy. And it was really just supposed to be for 30 days to see how I felt. Well, after 30 days, I felt absolutely phenomenal. And so I wanted to do it again. And so I did it again, and I wasn't as consistent the second time. And for off and on for about 2 years, I did that. So that was like really just my intro into it. And then again, I got to a breaking point where I said, I'm tired of playing around. I want to see results. I want to feel results. And so in 2022, January of 2022, January 1st, I went gluten and dairy free. And I also was in the middle of 75 hard, which is a crazy, it sounds like a workout challenge, but really it's a mindset challenge. And that kind of changed my life. Uh, that definitely take that with a grain of salt. Uh, it's just kind of these points that I get to in my own feeling where I'm done and I want to change, and I'm not happy with the way I'm currently, the current road that I'm on. And so I want to take a turn. And so then I do, and then I just don't look back.
I love that. I've heard of the 75 hard. It's one of those things where I'm like, I wonder if I could do that, and I've never been brave enough to try. Um, maybe
It's
this year, maybe not.
It's like it sounds like it's a lot of working out, but what I did was I went on 2 walks a day most of the time. Sometimes I
Mhm.
did yoga, sometimes I would do like a strength workout or something, but I was in a part of my journey where it was still in the beginning and I was just doing 2 walks a day. And it was really the mindset part that really changed me in that challenge. So, but that challenge is not for everybody.
And that's a fair thing. I think sometimes we want there to be this one size fits all.
Mhm.
Give me the answers. I would love to have them. And it's like I would love to give you the answers if there was one, right? If there was a blanket answer. Um, so how did so you said the shift to moving all the time, to the walks and stuff was kind of a started off as kind of a social thing with family.
Yes, absolutely. Like it was um I just met with my family and I have a man-made lake a couple miles from my house. We would meet, we would get some fresh air. It's 1 mile around and it's like practically flat the whole time. And so it's very easy. And so then I would move up to 2 laps around. So then I got 2 miles. And it just it just became a habit after a while without even realizing it because I would just go to hang out with people for like the community aspect of it. And that's a big part of my walks. Um are you get to come, you get to be with people who are not going to judge you. If you just had surgery, that's fine. If you're prepping for a marathon, that's fine. And we have anyone in between. And then we have people that just want to come and hang out, which is fine also. And since we walk along the beach, it's you get an amazing view in the meantime.
That's awesome. I love building the community that you have built. So tell us a little bit about the community and what was the process of building that?
So I just felt this pull to create something and it kind of happened in like a weekend. And then I I just pulled it together and started one small step walks for anyone who doesn't know where to start in their journey. Um, and now it has grown into a community of people who just come for connection and movement and fresh air. And it's at 9 a.m. on a Saturday and you're out by 10:30. So then you have the whole rest of your day and you get to leave knowing that you did something really good for your body. And so I love it. I also highlight small businesses within the walks, and they get visibility, and the walkers get usually some type of sample from them, and so it's a win-win. It's we've had gyms. We the last walk we had a 10-minute stretch right before the walk, and led by someone who has a stretch facility in the area. So it's really cool.
That is so fun. So you do this one, you do how often do you do your walks?
We go once a month. It's the first Saturday of every month. And the location varies. It's I'm based in Southern California, specifically in Orange County. So it's I go all throughout Orange County. I try to do a different location each time. So if one location is too far, maybe the next one will be just right for you. But all that info is going to be on my Instagram, and so I post the location and how to join us.
It's awesome. And we will have your Instagram handle. We will put that in the show notes so that people can find it easily. Um, that is so fun. I wish there was something like that where I live, or that I was close enough to come walk on the beach with you, but
Yeah.
it would be an 8-hour drive to walk on the beach, but
It would be worth it.
it would totally be worth it. So last thing I was wondering if you have any like tips or help for people who are trying to build sustainable habits, because I love that idea of like we have to build habits. We don't just change, right? Because as people we're not super great with change. So what would you tell somebody? What tips and tricks or whatever would you give them for trying to build sustainable habits to better themselves and their health?
Okay, I have a couple. I mean, I have a lot, but I a couple that I can share today. First of all, it does not matter what you're going through right now, what you've been through, how old you are, how young you are. I have been through so much trauma in my life. I'm sure, like most people have. If it's on your heart, you can make it happen. So that is the first thing. The second thing is it's not going to be easy, but it will be so worth it. And so once you start like changing a habit, I would only do one at a time because burnout is real. And it'll be so exciting in the beginning. You'll have all the energy and the motivation. And then a few days in, that motivation is nowhere to be found. And that is where the magic happens. That is where you have to push through it. That is the boring, mundane part of creating a habit is you just have to keep doing it even when you don't see the results, because down the line that you'll see them eventually, but it just takes that repetitive um you just got to keep going.
Yeah, I love you
Right.
mentioned the boring, mundane middle. There is that middle um, that I think we all hate, honestly.
Yes.
The middle.
It's like it's not working. I quit.
I hate this. Um,
Yes.
but I but I love what you said. I love you said if it's on your heart, you can make it happen, because I think sometimes we feel like we just get discouraged before we even start. And maybe it's not important. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. And I love in your story how you said, I got tired of feeling bad. And so I
Mhm.
think real sometimes we don't think we can feel better or we can make a difference because it seems so big, but when you start small, and I love that one at a time habit. We want to just change everything, but then
Yes, you
nothing changes.
want just the magic pill to snap and take it all, but again, it's not sustainable. And so if you're looking for that sustainable change, I'm looking for when I'm 80 years old, I want to be down there playing with my niece and nephew's kids. I want to be able to bring in my own groceries from the car and sit on the floor and get up, all the things that feel so small, but at 80 years old, they're going to be pretty big.
Yeah, I love that looking forward of like, I've seen a lot of that lately. It's like, I'm not working out for a summer body. I'm working out for my old lady body. Like, I would like to be an old lady who can move. And I think that is an awesome way to think about it is like, it's if you build the little sustainable things. And I love the walking, that kind of builds into that. There was an old lady in this little tiny town I grew up in. There's these two older ladies and they walked like every day. They walked like, I mean, they were retired and stuff, but like they would walk like 5 or 6 miles night and morning, just like the two of them. And they were just, really, and they were really pretty healthy until, I mean, one of them just had a heart attack and died one day. But I mean, what a way to go, right? Like she was just, and the other one,
Yeah.
they were just really healthy until they
Mhm.
were gone. And I love that, like looking forward. Um,
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with everyone or any
Just
final
know
thoughts?
that it's never too late and you can always make a change. And I'm always here for anybody that needs an accountability partner, or wants to chat.
I love that. How has accountability played into your journey? Do you have people that have kept you accountable?
Yes, yes. It has changed over the years, but yes, I've had many, many people. And, you cannot rely on everybody, but if you have an accountability partner, or two or three, it really, really helps to get through. Like when I did 75 Hard, I did it with a group of other people. And now currently when I go on my walks, I go with other people. Um, and we always say to each other, even now, even 7 years into this, I say, if I wasn't walking with you, I would not be here right now. And so accountability plays a huge role.
I love that. And I love that you found and you have built a community for accountability. I think that is such a fun, awesome thing that you're doing, and that people can join. And I love the support that you are just giving to people and helping people. Um, yeah. Thank you so much for being here. This has been so fun. Again, we will link your information in the show notes so that people can find and follow your walks. And if those people out in Orange County, lucky ducks, can go walk with you guys. That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.